Okay, everybody, welcome to class. I'm going to share my screen and just let you look at the class notes for a moment while other people join us. Here we are today, January 26th. We have the library class, and our next class is Tuesday. And as you all know, the first draft of essay number 2 is due. Many of you have given me that, and that's great. But if you haven't given it to me yet, please do so. You actually have a little bit of time because the second draft is not due until Tuesday. So if you need tomorrow, Saturday, to get me that first draft, that's just fine. That'll give me enough time to turn it around and give it to you so you can do whatever revisions you need to do for next Tuesday. You really should do that, though, because we're going to start essay number 3 on Tuesday, and it's better for you not to be working on more than one essay at a time. So I'll leave that for now and see who's here. Oh, we got enough folks. Okay, James, I'm going to turn the class over to you.
Okay, great. Let me minimize this and go directly to the library screen. Okay, good evening, class. My name is James Cuslin. I am a reference librarian at the library at LaGuardia Community College. And what I'm going to do this evening, in the brief time that we have together, is to give you the quickie soup to nuts tour of the library's databases and some of our services, and also expose you to several of the databases that are particularly pertinent for your present writing assignment on human rights. And I'm going to be throwing a great deal of information your way this evening, and it is not my expectation that you are going to retain uh, all of it, half of it, even a quarter of it. If there is to be a takeaway from our time together, it is to let you know that we librarians are very approachable, that the library exists to uh, make your experience at LaGuardia easier, more fulfilling, and that our role is to help you. And as I say all the time, there is no such thing as a stupid question. There is only an unasked question. And you can believe me when I say we have actually heard them all. We're rather like physicians. Nothing shocks us. So our go-to site is library.laguardia.edu. This is command central, so to speak. And before we get into the ins and outs of searching for books and articles, I would like to show you at the top these little tabs, which lead to more tabs. Now, get help is exactly what it means.
Oh,
If
excuse me, James. We just
Yes,
don't see the screen yet. Maybe need to share it again.
okay, let me try again.
Hmm.
Let's see, where did that go? My Zoom screen seemed to have disappeared.
It happens.
It's
My
always, there's always an unpleasant surprise.
my Zoom screen says your co-host, so
Okay, let me get back in.
Okay, everybody, if you just joined us, we're just having a minor technical glitch. We're just waiting for librarian to be able to share screens with us. So just hang in there a minute.
All right, I guess I have to re-enter all of my bona fides here.
Okay.
So let me. Let me try this in Chrome.
You want me to make you the real host and you'll just give it back to me later?
I don't know if that would make any difference.
Nicole suggested that. Thank you, Nicole.
Let me try Chrome and see.
Yes, actually, these days I found that Safari, if that's what you were using, has a lot of deficits and Chrome works much better, even though
Yes, I agree with you. Because I'm on a Mac, my default has always been Safari, but I'm finding it to be really inferior, and it takes so much longer to do anything.
Yes, actually bought a new computer. Well, there he goes. Okay, everybody, we're just waiting for the librarian to log on with us again. Let me, for the moment, share my screen again because some of you came in a little late. Just to remind you that here we are today. It's Thursday. We're going to have the library class. The librarian will walk us through parts of the library, how to do some searches. All of you should be working on your first draft of essay number 2 or your second draft of essay number 2. Some of you have sent that into me, and that's great. But if you haven't gotten that draft into me, please do so. You can take tomorrow, Saturday, to finish that draft. I will need a little bit of time to turn it around to you for a second draft. The second draft will be due on Tuesday, and hopefully everybody can get the second draft in by then, because we're going to start on the third essay on Tuesday. It's better for you not to be working on 2 drafts at the same time. So let's see how the librarian's doing. Oh, he's not back yet. So let me just ask if anybody has any questions about what they're doing at the moment while we're waiting for James to come back. Here he comes.
Okay, here I am. And I'm hitting share screen. And I'm getting a message that's post disabled participant screen sharing.
Yeah, I just now made you co-host.
All right, let's try again.
There we go. It's working.
Okay, super. All right, so
we haven't seen it yet. There it is. Okay.
Here we are. All right, so that cost us some precious time, I'm sorry to say. All right, so where was I? We are at home base, which is library.laguardia.edu. And before we get into the ins and outs of finding articles and books, at your leisure, I suggest that you take a look at the what we offer underneath all of these tabs. Get help, how-to videos. If you want to know how to use Boolean logic when you search, you can find a refresher here. Notes about the databases, when to use them, the particulars to what define scholarly articles would be here. When you have to do your citations for your paper, you would go to citations, you would click MLA 8th, and as you see here, you've got all of these tools, sample annotated bibliography. It's always good to have a model if you can't immediately ask your professor for advice. Also, you can contact us at the library in person or via chat and ask us questions about citations. Interlibrary loan is a means by which you can request articles that we do not own from other institutions. The unfortunate thing about interlibrary loan is if you're in a rush, it won't work for you. We need at least a week and a half to 2 weeks to get you something that we don't ourselves own. If you're interested in borrowing laptops, iPads, and other devices, this will fill you in on how to do it. This is a tab that leads you to explanations of our offerings of computers, printers, and private workspace. A link to e-reserves. Many of your professors will put digitized versions of your material up online. And of course, contact us, our names, phone numbers, and emails, operating hours, which do change, so do check before you come to visit us. All right, let's get back to library homepage. I mentioned chat. That is, sorry, here we go. Chat is in the lower right-hand corner of the homepage. You can chat with us completely anonymously. We are here, as you see, these hours, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 8:50, Friday. Actually, we're here until 9. The physical library closes 10 minutes before the hour, but we can chat with you until Monday through Thursday till 9. We will chat with you Friday till 5. We will chat with you on Saturday until 4, and on Sunday also until 4. Of course, we'd love to see you in the actual library. Be aware that at the moment there is some physical renovation going on in the space. And if you're looking for a perfectly quiet room to study in for the next couple of weeks, the library is not going to be it. Okay, now, OneSearch is the omnibus search engine for everything that all of CUNY owns. It comprises our books, our CDs, our recordings, our journals, our newspapers, and thus it is rather unwieldy. So let me just give you an example. If you wanted to find something on the United Nations, now I recommend when you are putting in a term whose words must be adjacent to one another, that you put them within quotation marks. Otherwise, some databases will just pull these words if they find them randomly in documents or records, which is like standing under Niagara Falls with just an umbrella. It's not going to keep you dry. So we have United States and within quotation marks, human rights. All right, that's pretty broad. So let's see what we get. We click search. We get a staggering 27,416 results. Now, it is impossible to get through for anyone, no matter how much time you have to do research. So assuming we don't want to add another qualifier to these two, we can go to the left-hand side and we start giving limiters. So what we want to limit to digitized text that we can read at home as well as in the library. We want only books. We don't want newspaper articles or journal articles. And we don't want the full range of dates. So we click refine. And what we're going to do here, since the UN dates from the 1940s, let's just say we want from 1950 to 2023. All right, I'm sorry, we lost that and we lost that. Let's scroll down. We only want what is at LaGuardia. That will further limit the numbers. And let's click Apply Filters. Did I freeze? No, I didn't. No, my screen froze.
Well, that's bad news.
Well, oh, it threw me out.
Clearly, I wouldn't say this lightly, but you're not welcome. No. All right, just bear with us, people. We're having a little technical difficulty. But as you can see, searching the library takes a little bit of skill. I know we did one visit, but this visit should give you a little bit more control over your searches. Remember, for the second essay, you need 2 outside sources besides the document. And for the third essay about human rights, you'll need 3 outside sources. So these examples that you're seeing here could well serve you for finding your way.
I'm sorry, this is really like amateur night.
Well, maybe you should go back out and come in, but
Yes, let me do that.
okay. We don't want to read your email.
They're very boring. They'd even put you to faster sleep, possibly than
Okay, students, just bear with us. We'll be there.
all the dry information.
Looks good.
Let's not be premature.
Oh, well, it says we're viewing your screen. It gives us some hope here.
Oh, really?
I did it that moment. And I see you in the meeting.
Right. All right. So let's go back to Library LaGuardia. Can you see?
Yes, yes,
All right.
we're following you.
Okay, so we just know that this evening we're dealing with some gremlins. All right, so we are in OneSearch, United Nations, and human rights in quotation marks because we want the words to be found next to one another. And because we have more than 27,000 hits, which is unworkable, we are going to choose some limiters. So we want full text online. We only want books, and we only want books published from 1950 to the present. So let's click Apply Filters. And here we have our books. The titles that are most specifically relevant to the terms that were input always go to the top. Now we've got 2000, which is still a great deal. So let's add one more qualifier. The rule of thumb, the thing I'd like you to remember is the more specific you are with your terms, inputting, the fewer hits you're going to have to wade through. So let's do United Nations and human rights, and let's say religion. All right, that gave us 16. That's beginning to cut it down. And let's add ethics. This gives us 205. Now, this is a really reasonable number of hits to scroll through. When you see something that looks like it might be worthwhile for your research purposes, you are going to click the green available online link. You will be asked to log in. If you don't know how to log in, your ID format is spelled out here to the right. Well, it should take you to the book. I don't know what's going on here. Since you can see my screen, let me just try that same thing. United Nations and human rights and religion and ethics. All right, 205, those are our hits. We click on the green link. Okay, here we see you can read the book online. You can download the book. It's not a permanent download. You will have it for 21 days. However, nobody is stopping you from printing out the chapters that you have. And this way you have the entire manuscript. You can also Stacks means it's a book that you can take out. If you don't like reading digital copy, you can do a search for Stacks. And Stacks means it's a book that you can remove from the library for a couple of weeks. And that is the call number, that is the actual physical location. They are shelved in the library in alphabetical and then numerical order. And if call numbers are new to you, just ask for help from one of the librarians on duty, and we will show you how to find the book. Now, let's go back. Okay, let's see, where are we? Let's get out of Chrome. Okay. For the time being, I'm going to stick with Safari since it seems to be working. All right, so let's get back to our home base, which is library.laguardia.edu. And let's take a look at databases. Now, under quick links, Academic Search Complete is a big umbrella database that serves many diverse subject matter material. And it's a good place to start, especially if you're in a rush. So let's click on Academic Search Complete. I'm already logged in Safari, so it's not asking me to log in again. Rule of thumb is once you are logged in to one database, your entree to the others is automatic. When you have the option, always select for advanced search. Under limit your results, always select for full text. And if your professor has specified that you must have scholarly or peer-reviewed articles, also tick that box. You can also limit the dates of publication. For example, this is very important if you are doing research in the hard sciences, because there are so many discoveries. Science is changing at a great rate. If you're doing ethics or philosophy or history, sometimes it's good to have an overview over a longer period of time. So let's not do any date restrictions at the moment. So what we'll do here, we can do United Nations within quotation marks because we want the words together. We are doing human rights, because we want those words together. We have religion. Now we need a fourth box. We can make as many boxes as we need. So let's see how many articles we get if we just do these three terms. 111. Let's just add ethics here. And that gives us 13. That's a really lovely number of hits that you can go through and read at your leisure. We've got one in Italian, one in Spanish. If you want to do a language restriction, you would hit language and choose the language of your preference. Obviously, the bias of this database is English language. So that's why the majority of inclusions are English. But if you're multilingual, don't do that language restriction. So say we want to take a look at this article. We click on where it says PDF full text. And here we've got it. We can scroll down. Now, this article does not have a bibliography. I will find one with a bibliography because they can be very useful, and I'll show you why. But before we do that, these little icons tell you that you can print this out. You can, and this is, I strongly recommend that you email an article that looks like a good fit for you to yourself. It happens to all of us that we think, oh, I'll be able to find this again, and then we never do because we can't retrace our steps. Now, this little sheet icon is a great time saver. It gives you citation format. And here we have the MLA. All you would need to do is to copy and paste into your paper. I strongly recommend that you double check the format under Get Help and the MLA templates that the library has put together, because on occasion, the databases make mistakes and you just want to double check their work. All right, let's see if this article has a bibliography. Again, the bibliography is always at the end. And here we go, we have references. Now, you go through these references and something strikes you as worthwhile. Say you want to see Hannah Arendt's The Human Condition. So you would just make a note of the name, Human Condition. You would copy it. You would go back to the library homepage, and into one search, you would put Hannah Arendt. We can get rid of the 58 and The Human Condition. Okay, that's auf Deutsch, so we don't want that. We want books, apply filters. All right, it must be mentioned in here. All right, so let's just try Hannah. Oh, that might be what happened. All right, one cannot be casual in putting these things. Again, we want books, apply filters. And the easiest thing would be to do this as a title search. So let's take Hannah Arendt out of this equation. Okay. All right. I don't see it coming up. I know we have it. And Arendt. All right, that's about. And here we have it. The Human Condition. Hannah Arendt, 1958, Stacks, It's a Book You Can Take Home. I don't see that we have a digital copy of it, so it would be paper only. But that's how you take advantage of a bibliography. If we have a journal article, okay, if it's a book, as we just saw, all you have is the year of publication. You don't have all these other numbers. So here is an article by Rainer Forst in Ethics. So do we have Ethics? It's volume 120, and those are the pages. So again, we're going to make a copy of that. We're going to go back to our library homepage. And we get into databases, articles, and books online this time. And we click into Browse Journals by Title. So what we want is to see if we have ethics. So let's cut that. Here we have ethics. It's available online. So we can find it in Academic Search Complete. All right, that was volume 120. We would select the issue. Let's see, what issue was that? Doesn't say. So it would be the page number. Maybe 4. (711). Okay, so it's going to be in here. And here is Rainer Forst's article. So that's how you can take advantage of a bibliography. Now, databases often focus on various topics to the exclusion of others. And for your purposes, probably the most rewarding you will find by clicking on subject. I would recommend for human rights a government and political science rubric. Let's scroll down and see what else might be of value. These issues approached from another point of view would be philosophy and religion, and possibly social sciences, and women's and gender studies. And of course, when you're doing your actual research, you can come to us and you tell us what topic you're researching, and we can guide you in a one-to-one way in the library, or the same way via chat. So let's get into government and political science. All right, Columbia International Affairs Online. Let's click that on. We do not have an advanced search function in this database. So what we are going to do, we could do United Nations and human rights and religion and ethics and search. That gives us 43. Now we can choose for content type. If we just want a journal article. Say you want a policy book, policy brief rather. You select for that. These Chow is highly academic. Opposing viewpoints I won't get into tonight because of the technical kerfuffles where we don't have a plenitude of time. But opposing viewpoints, obviously nobody objects to human rights as being a universal value. But if you were doing something that had a Republican point of view and a Democrat Party point of view, you would get into opposing viewpoints with your topic and do a pro and con search. As I said, nobody is opposed to human rights who is in his right mind. Foreign policy. Okay, let's do human rights and slavery and ethics. All right, nothing there, so let's just do and slavery. All right, that found one search result. Somehow it comes up in this search. So, you know, one reason why it's necessary to check many different databases, let's get in here, is that some databases will come up with nothing, others will be happy hunting. So as I said, always advanced search if you have the option, always full text, scholarly peer reviewed. And again, let's do human rights. Let's do slavery. And let's do trafficking. This found 18. Now, one thing I want to point out to you is when you find an article that looks good for your purposes, take a look at the subjects that the indexers use. You can then add a field and see what else that might get you. That found 3, which may or may not have come up before. And again, you click on your text, print, email, and cite, and then you can also check for bibliography. Now, sometimes you will put in a term that doesn't come up when you search. So let's just try, within quotation marks, freedom of assembly. All right, that is useful here. Let's try freedom of association. Even better, if you use a term that does not give you any hits, you would go to the thesaurus. Not every database has one, but they are very useful. You can be using the most commonsensical terms and nothing comes up. It's not because you're using invalid terms. They're invalid only insofar as the editors of the database are concerned. So you want to, let's try, this is a general search. The thesaurus search box is here. So let's do, let's try underage trafficking and browse. All right, so that's not here. Do we have? All right, child trafficking. Now, this is an example. This is the sort of thing I want to show. Say you had put in child training and you got nothing when you searched. The thesaurus tells you to use child rearing. Child vagrants, no. Vagrant children. Child verbal abuse, no. Psychological child abuse, yes. So thesauri are very, very useful. All right, let's go back. Let's see if there's anything else here for your purposes. No, let's go to humanities. Let's go to LGBTQ source. Again, advanced search. Again, full text. Again, peer reviewed. And you can do human rights. Let's do gay rights. And let's do religion. That gave us 3. And again, click on, see what, there's your article. Let's see if there is, okay, this is great because not only do we have a thorough bibliography, many of these links are live. You just click on and you go right to your source. You don't always luck out like that, but sometimes you do. And furthermore, we've got extra topics. Let's do that will take you into something that is related, but not exactly the same. Any questions so far? All right, I know I'm really throwing a lot at you. So let's take a little break from this and I can show you some fun stuff. All right, we go to library.laguardia.edu. We're going to go to databases, articles, and books online. And here you see you've got links to the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. Click on these links and you will see the option to subscribe. In the real world, the Times and the Wall Street Journal tend to be expensive subscriptions. But because you pay tuition to LaGuardia, your subscriptions to these newspapers are yours for free. The one thing to bear in mind when you sign on is that you must use your LaGuardia email. If you use your Gmail, they will not honor your request to subscribe. Also, because the library at LaGuardia is a small one, and we don't always have access to the books at the other CUNY libraries if they should be on reserve, for example, or if you're in a great rush and you can't wait 1 week or a week and a half for a book to be sent to LaGuardia from another CUNY branch. You can get into Gale eBooks. If you have a book title, you can search it and see if we have it through Gale. And another way to search digital books that we don't ourselves own is to get into ebook resources. And all of these holdings, Brooklyn Public, New York Public, online books page hosted by UPenn, might have what you're looking for. So that is also worth a shot. So that's the general soup to nuts. John, is there anything you would like me to go over again or cover that I did not?
No, I think you were quite comprehensive. It's very good. I've also taken them through a couple of times, so that's and the main thing is we've recorded the session. I know there were a few breaks in there, but you can always, I'll post it and people can always go back and refresh and get an idea. I think one of the important things for the students to remember is that the librarians are there to help you. I know you have that chat function. Maybe you can show them that. I'm not sure if you covered that.
Sure. Let me go. library.laguardia.edu. Okay, I'm putting in my name so my colleague will know I'm here because I'm teaching a class. So, Professor Keen, I'm showing my class the chat ropes. So you are off the hook. Okay, so that's how that works. And then we would, typically you would see Professor Keen respond and you would, state your question. So we're ending. All right, I'm giving, he's a man of few words, so that's great. You can email yourself a transcript of your chat. I strongly recommend that you do that. Most librarians will ask you if you want it, because typically in a chat, we will spell out the steps that you need to take to do your research. So that's that. And I guess that's the ball game. We did have a couple of strikes out in the beginning, but all's well.
Thank you. That's really, really helpful. Thank
Yes.
you.
Oh,
you
good.
very
I'm
much.
so glad.
Okay, James.
All right. So we can stop the share and I'll let you get on with it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good night. You're welcome.
Good night. Okay, so there's some.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, everybody. So let me just remind everybody about where we are in terms of our class. I know that was a comprehensive, detailed library class. You will have the recording to go to. Do use the library to explore in there. Here are the class notes just to remind you that, and I'll repeat what I said before, the essay 2 draft 1 is due. Many of you have given me that. And if you haven't, you can still take another day or two. If you get it into me by, Saturday night, that's okay. It'll give me enough time to look at it on Sunday, send it back to you, and you'll get a chance to revise it. It would be great if everybody's essay 2 draft 2 were finished by Tuesday, because we really want to start that last essay, that third essay, on Tuesday. We'll be reading in class. Okay, everybody, won't keep you any longer tonight. Have a good weekend. Get those drafts into me.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night.
Good night,
Thank
Professor.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night, everyone.